Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today I'm using both the Hippest Hippos stamp set and the Hippo dies from the Sale-a-bration brochure. You can earn this for free for £45 purchase, and for another £45 purchase you can earn the dies for free. To get you up to the magic number of £90 to earn both the Hippo dies and the Hippo stamp set for free, this is the Dots and Spots die. This is just a suggestion, and that's £30. The Rays of Light stamp set, which is £17. The Stylish Shapes dies, we're going to be using this die, the number 4 I think it is, and number 2 of the nested circle dies, counting from the smallest outwards. There's 6 in the nest, so it's 1, 2, the second, and then 3, 4, so that's the 4th. Stamping blend combo of your choice and an ink pad, and that will take you up to £91. Then you get 2 items for free from the Sale-a-bration brochure at the £45 level. So I'm going to be making 2 cards today, and I've pre-die cut a lot of it. This is the first one. So the card base is 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8. In metric that will be 21 centimeters by 14.85 in crushed curry. Then we have 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. One is for the matte layer on the front of the card, and the other one is for the inside of the card. And both these have been cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/2 inches. In metric that will be 9.5 by 14 centimeters. We have the Ray of Light stamp, which is just a single stamp, and it's enormous, so it requires the F block. So I've cut the cardstock the same size as the stamp so that you don't get inky fingers. Crushed curry and Tuxedo Blck Memento ink, a crumb cake stamping blend combo, and also I'm using the Early Espresso Stamp and Write marker pen from the Neutrals collection. To save time, I've already pre-die cut the extra elements I need, and that is the grassy bits here. So I've cut out the grassy bits. I'm just going to free this. It doesn't cut right through. And I've got 2 bits here, clumps of grass, the number 2 stitch circle and the number 4 circle in crushed curry, this pair of flowers and the tiny flower here. And I also need a scrap to stamp the hippo on. First let's glue the matte layer to the card front. Then I'm going to ink up the stamp, and I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp because the stamp is so big. And pop this cardstock on top. It covers the whole stamp, so in fact I can just rub the palm of my hand over it to make sure that all the ink is transferred onto the cardstock. Now I can bring the trimmer in. I'm going to follow the line here to trim that off and make sure it's straight. And then I want that trimmed down to, so let's trim it to 3 5/8. It's just a tad past the ½ inch mark here. And then top and bottom, so that will be 5 3/8. So I think I'll take an 1/8 from the top No, I think that's fine. Then I can glue this circle from Stylish Shapes onto here. Stamp this sentiment "You're so hip" toward the outer edge of the circle, so round about there. And I just want to trim off a tiny bit, make sure that that writing is straight. I'm going to pop this, staggered it to around about there. Bring in the Tuxedo Blck Memento ink and stamp the hippo. And I'm also going to stamp one down here for the inside of the card. Now I'm going to colour the hippo, his nose and his front in the paler crumb cake, and the rest of him or her in the darker crumb cake. So I'll speed this up. For the hoof, I'm just going to use the early espresso marker to fill that in. So let's glue that in before I lose it. Remove the backing tape from this grassy verge and pop it onto the card. Apply some adhesive. By magic, I've already coloured this, pre-coloured this to save time, and die cut it as well, because we're making 2 cards and not just the one. I've put glue dots on this grassy bits. Grab some pearls. So that's card 1 finished. Now let's go on to card 2. For card 2 we'll need early espresso ink pad, Tuxedo Blck again, the crumb cake combo as well as the pool party combo, and the early espresso Stamp and Write marker pen. For this card we'll need the dots and spots die, this on point hippo die, and the stitched tag die. The card base is the same, 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8, so that's 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. You have a matte layer which is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, so that's 9.5 by 14 centimeters. I cut the pool party the same size as the die, so then I can trim it down afterwards. So to die cut this, you will need your usual standard sandwich, which is platform 1, the thin die adapter platform 2, one of the platform 3 base plates, the cardstock, followed by the die. Place the die at an angle like that so it's easier to run through the machine, and then you place a second platform 3 on top and you're ready to run it through the machine. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Now this is the new tray that comes with the embossing, and it's useful for putting all this sort of stuff in, and it comes with the autumn set. Off my head I can't remember what it's called, but I did mention it earlier in the week during the launch day video I did last Friday. And then you can just use these bits for a shaker card if you want to, because then you can pour it all out of this screw top lid. Just trim it down. So 3 3/4, you want it 3 5/8. Glue it to your cardstock. And glue this to the card base. Then to decorate the inside of the card, you stamp another hippo here and another, which you can die cut with this after you've coloured it for the front of the card. So I'll colour the skirt in Pool Party, her front and the nose in the light crumb cake and the rest of her in the dark crumb cake. So I'll speed this up. Glue this to the inside of the card. Make sure it's the right way up. I'm going to stamp it towards the flag end, like so, to trim the end off. I've put dimensionals on the back, and I'm just going to put this here. And this is the 3/8 inch or 1 centimetre sheer Pool Party ribbon. So I've tied a bow already to save time. Pop it on the glue dot, like so, and then trim off the ends. I've put dimensionals on the back, so all I have to do is just pop her here, and that's the other card finished. And just one last finishing touch. Tiny pearl here. So there's the 2 cards finished. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and have been inspired by it. Join me again next time for more inspiration. Don't forget the links are below this video in the show more section, and you can find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. And if you'd like to read more, then do hop over to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. If you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up. If you can, I'd really appreciate it if you shared my video and spread the word. Thanks very much. Bye.